With the news, and Mandela House is one of the most outstanding structures in South Africa's southwestern townships, popularly known as Soweto. It was established as a homage to anti-apartheid hero Nelson Mandela, who lived in that house between 1946 and 1962. For its historical value, the museum is one of the most visited sites in the Rainbow Nation, with locals earning a living from the tourism that has grown around it. KTN's Shisia Wasilwa was there recently and filed this report.
Soweto is a 20-minute drive from the bustling city of Johannesburg. Located in the outskirts of Orlando West, Soweto has emerged as one of the most prominent places in South Africa. It is also the largest black urban complex in the Southern African nation. During the fight against the apartheid rule, it was the epicenter of clashes between white supremacist forces and local activists. This township sits within Gauteng province and hosts one of the symbols of resistance against the segregationist rule that controlled South Africa between 1948 and 1994. The Mandela House. I'm welcomed here by traditional dancers from the Nguni tribe. Their song and dance appeal to my African side and awaken South Africa's spirit of Ubuntu, which pushes for humanity and well-being of self and others. The dance and music are a stark contrast to the protest that began here on June 16, 1976, led by students. Over 20,000 school-going children participated. A brutal police response saw at least 176 students killed, with more injured. Reports put the number at over 700 dead. It was the moment that pricked the conscience of the world, shifted the focus on the cruel acts of the apartheid system, and accelerated calls for its end. That dream came in 1994 when Nelson Mandela was elected the first black president of South Africa. However, the morbid memory of apartheid lingers on. So is Soweto's fame. In 1999, this township was listed as the 16th most preferred tourist destination in South Africa, following the opening of the Mandela House in December 1997.
I will continue to entertain the hope that there has emerged a cadre of leaders in my own country and region, on my continent and in the world, which will not allow that any should be denied their freedom as we were, that any should be turned into refugees as we were, that any should be condemned to go hungry as we were.
Well, this is the house that the iconic anti-apartheid hero Nelson Mandela lived in between 1946 and 1962. His stay here ended when he was captured on August 5, 1962 near a town called Howick, located in KwaZulu-Natal province. It is a 4-bedroom brick house where recollections of the Mandelas continue living decades on, memories that many visit to witness and walk through, just like these tourists from Belgium. Nelson Mandela himself had his own special attachment to this house. He visited it upon his release in 1990 despite security warnings that it was not safe for him. But to him, home was home. But he would later leave only after 11 days over what he termed as lack of privacy.
Amandla i-Afrika.
Due to its position as a top tourist attraction, the Mandela House is a blessing to locals who now depend on it as a source of livelihood. They sell handicrafts and rare photographs to tourists who visit the site to earn a living. Local tourist hotels have also employed a number of local youth.
country has its own challenges. It's a given. And with South Africa, we know the inequality is one of our biggest, challenge. And closely related to that is the fact that a large number of our youth is unemployed. And then there's crime aspect. Every country has crime. That much I do know. What matters are the interventions that have been put in place to eradicate such perceptions and to eradicate real tangible results, so that we are able to package those and we're able to communicate to the world that yes, there is crime, but guess what? These are the interventions that we have put in place.
The late Nelson Mandela donated this house to Soweto Heritage Trust in 1997, but it still falls under the National Museums of South Africa. The Mandela House was listed as a national treasure in 1999. Nelson Mandela is not the only prominent person who lived in Soweto. The late South African Anglican Bishop Desmond Tutu, who was also a vocal opponent of the apartheid system, also called this place home. Comedian, TV producer and host, who is also an author, Trevor Noah, was also raised here in Soweto. Others include current President Cyril Ramaphosa and South Africa music legend Yvonne Chaka Chaka, among many others. It is almost 3 decades since the fall of apartheid rule here in South Africa. Successive black-led governments have been working hard at positioning the Rainbow Nation to attract foreign investment.
When we go to the next expo, we should be clear that the Africa Free Trade Agreement has been promoted to an extent that will have one Africa Continental brand. Today's discussions will look into solidifying the efforts we have made in the continued development of the South African nation brand and our collaborative contribution to elevating its relevance in the world through the enhancement of the country's offerings.
As I leave South Africa, my take-home is two-pronged. One, the forgiveness over atrocities meted on locals by a racist regime whose memory now lives on as a lesson. The second one is that of a national fabric of different colors and cultures that have combined forces to ensure economic prosperity and pride. Shisia Wasilwa, KTN News.
What a report there from Shisia Wasilwa. Thank you for that. And Mumia's sugarcane farmers have